Hey everyone, welcome to this video and training. In today's training, we're going to go over how to do market research for your product that you are ready to start testing. And essentially what we're going to do is walk through the first couple steps of the 8-figure creative engine. So if you're watching this video, there should be a link to the 8-figure creative engine sheet underneath. And what you're going to do is click File, make a copy, and then basically call this. You can just put your name here if you want. So I'm just going to put Anthony, and then you can put whatever product this is. Ideally, you're going to have one sheet per product. So I'm going to do this with the collagen masks. Okay. And I'm just going to make a copy. And essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through this sheet exactly as if I were following the course and community and I was ready to start making creatives. And that way we can do all the research that we need to do and then start making some really good ads and understanding everything we need to know about our customers in order to actually make some really good content. So I have an example research sheet as to how this should look once you are fully complete. And we're going to run through this process organically from start to finish, starting from complete scratch. So every 8-figure ad starts with the research. We're going to find links to the relevant sources of information below and save them in this sheet. We'll then move to the next sheet to begin priming ChatGPT to pull out the most valuable insights. So my brand name, Naked, my product, BioCollagen face masks. Okay, another thing you can do here is go to Amazon. And I'm just going to find my product, just like this. Okay, we're going to grab the link and we're going to throw that in here, just like that. Okay, cool. So now I have my brand name, the product that I'm going to be using. And then the next thing to do is to start to collate or collect rather all of the Amazon reviews. So I actually have a handy dandy Chrome extension that allows me to insert files into my sheet here, but honestly, you don't need to do that. I just like to have a link to the Amazon reviews, but Google Sheets on their own cannot actually hold files. So you have to have this extension if you want to include your sheet or your Amazon reviews in a file here. But if not, you can just keep them on your desktop. It's totally fine too. So to actually grab the reviews, what we're going to do is use a tool called Data Miner. And Data Miner is a Chrome extension. So this one right here, and all this allows us to do is to basically scrape any data or pull any data from a website in as few steps as possible. So we're going to use that to grab the reviews. And so all we need to do is scroll to the bottom and go all the way down. And then we're going to grab the reviews. So let's load up Data Miner, the Chrome extension, once you have it installed. And basically, there are a few different things here that are important. So public recipes are basically instructions for the scraping tool that other people have made public. So there are a couple here that I just, or there are one or two that I use for this, because if you don't use a public one, you basically have to create it on your own, which is kind of a pain in the ass. Okay, cool. So these guys, this looks exactly like what I'm trying to get. So Amazon review list, basically I'm just making sure that as I'm previewing the public recipe, that it's actually pulling in the information. And all I want from this scrape is basically just, if I can, the headline, but realistically, this is the only thing that I really care about. Let's go into the review miner again, and then, okay, cool. So that looks exactly like what I'm going after. So this is the public recipe. You should be seeing this on your end as well as you're using Data Miner. So Amazon review page all data. We're going to go ahead and scrape. And what this does is opens up Data Miner. And by default, this actually only scrapes one page. And so we actually want to scrape a bunch of pages because we don't just want 10 reviews. So what we're going to do is tell Data Miner the number of pages we want to scrape. And then from there, we'll be able to basically scrape all of them automatically. So I'm going to set mine to 30 pages. 30 times 10 is 300. You can even go higher than that. I might go 50 pages just so I can get 500 reviews. And then the delay between pages, I set to 6 seconds. I believe that is the minimum time delay between pages. So from there, scraping 50 pages, and let's go ahead and press that. So I have the next page automation, and you'll see it working in the background of Data Miner. I'm not going to close out of Data Miner for now. Probably just shrink this down. And essentially what's happening is it's scanning the page of 10 reviews, waiting 6 seconds, it's pressing the next button, and then it's scraping the next page. And so this process is going to repeat 50 times. So that way we have literally 50 pages of reviews. So it's going to take a couple minutes and I'll come back once this is finished. All right, so really quick, just want to let you guys know that I was scraping the 5-star reviews for this product and I actually ran out of reviews. So I switched it to the 4-star reviews and then basically just press continue. And I'm going to scrape the next, 100 or 200 or so 4-star reviews. We'll see how many reviews there are. I actually didn't think to check, but that could be a constraint on this method. But as long as you scrape as many as possible, the more obviously the better. Okay, cool. So it's at this point that I have now generated 300 rows of reviews. And let me open this up a little bit further. So as you can see, I'm going to sort this by 1,000 pages. I basically ran out of 5-star reviews. Depending on the product that you are doing research on, data miner can potentially run out of reviews because, well, actually, let me back up. Depending on the product you have, there's going to be a finite number of reviews, right? So pick products, ideally, that have really sizable competitors on Amazon to make the research process that much easier. Right, and once data miner has finished, all we need to do is download this as a CSV file. Right, we're going to rename this CSV file, basically just the product name and then reviews export. So it should look something like this, and we're not done yet. We have to open this up in Numbers. Then once we're in Numbers, we need to export this as a PDF. So let's export to PDF here using Numbers. And we're going to save this. And the reason why we have to do it this way is ChatGPT cannot actually read CSV files or Excel sheets. So in order to have a file that we can actually use with ChatGPT, then we need to export as a PDF. And once you're done with that, you can go back to the sheet. Again, if you have this Chrome extension, which is called File Drop, you will be able to just open this up very quickly and choose a file to upload. And we're going to upload our review export just like so. Just like so. If it's not working, there's a couple of reasons as to why this may not be working, but if it's not working, all we can do, we can also upload it to Drive and then put a link to the sheet here as well. But to be honest, what's more important is that you actually have the CSV file, or the PDF file rather. So feel free to just keep it on your desktop. It's not the end of the world. Now, in terms of links to 5 YouTube videos, we are now going to go ahead and scour YouTube for any useful videos regarding our product. All right, so the simplest way to see if there are any videos on the product is literally just to look it up. So let's go ahead and do that really quick. Biocollagen masks, perfect. And again, what we're looking for at this phase is, let me go back to our sheet. Okay, cool. So we're inside here. We basically completed this phase of downloading some Amazon reviews. We can get some YouTube video transcripts as well, but we're going to focus purely on the reviews because I'm just trying to get the minimum viable research phase done here. So for this social media part here, we're looking for YouTube videos, Reddit forums, TikTok videos, basically to try and figure out the most critical information of what our customers are thinking in the consideration phase. So you want to look for and identify videos that people are likely to watch if they're thinking about buying the product. So for the biocollagen mask, if I just type in the product name, that's the easiest way to start to get videos. And this is definitely a video that, as you can see, by 152,000 views, lots of people who are in the market for this product are likely to be watching, especially considering the fact that this is an actual dermatologist. So she's probably a very reputable source. And I can see a lot of people watching this video before they actually make a purchase. So all I'm going to do is grab the link to that video. Don't overthink this step. Just insert it, and it should look something like this. And we'll just repeat that process across another 5 videos or so. Really quick, this is a great example of a video that is perfect for this part of the research phase, because this is essentially, this Biodance Collagen Real Deep Mask Worth the Hype video is essentially a video format, a 3-minute video customer review. So this person goes into depth. She talks about the visible results, the most notable differences, and it's basically, again, a video format version of all of these different reviews. So the information that you're going to gather from this is highly, highly insightful and things that you may not get scratching the surface of a regular review. Okay, so once we've added in a handful of videos, the next step is to start to find some Reddit forums. So Reddit is also a great source of information for text-based discussions in the consideration phase as well. So all we're going to do is type in our product name and just put Reddit. And we're just going to grab a couple of the first forms that we see. Use common sense. If they're having valuable discussions about your product, then that's typically exactly the type of form that you want to save. So this is one, having just very quickly scrolled through it. Run and don't walk getting these. My face looks plump and lifted. I left it on overnight. Perfect. They're having discussions. We're just going to grab this and throw that in there like so. Back out. Does anyone know why the Biodance Biocollagen mask is so popular? Perfect. There even is someone here basically saying that it actually did not work. Oh, wait, no. She read the directions. It was like a regular mask and then left it on overnight and blew her mind. So a lot of good discussion here. We're going to go through, save 5 forms, and then we'll be back. Okay, perfect. So I went ahead and sourced 4 really insightful Reddit forums of discussions, good discussions happening with regards to the biocollagen skincare mask. And the next step and the final step in the research phase is to then grab some links to some viral TikToks. So very similar to what we just did for YouTube, we're going to go to TikTok. We're going to look for videos that are discussing the product, reviewing the product, and then basically just put the links here. All right, so I'm on TikTok right now, and all I did was very quickly just enter in the product that I'm actually looking for, or the product title or name. And it's okay if you use one that's the competitor. So I just typed in Biodance Collagen Mask. And basically what we want to do is grab links to some of the most viral content. So videos like this, 608,000 views. What's great is the content itself is usually very insightful and has a lot of good data that we can extrapolate. But more importantly, the comment section usually has a really good discussion. It's almost like a Reddit forum where instead of people kind of crowding around this one individual text post, there's a lot of good discussion that's happening around this one viral video. So I'm going to go through, find the most viral videos, and then store them on the sheet. Okay, so I've just found 5 TikTok videos that have either gone viral or semi-viral and stored them on the sheet. And before we move on to actually pulling everything into ChatGPT, another good use case or another way you might use the viral TikToks is to start to get a feel for the types of content that people in this market engage with organically for this product. So this is one of the most viral videos on this product, 10,000 likes, 21 comments, 1,900 saves. And it's basically just her peeling off the mask. Super simple. But because it's gone viral, that's an indication to us as to the type of content that this audience likes to consume. So there's not a ton of editing. It's just a piece of footage with some very simple music in the background. And very similarly, a lot of the other viral content is people just trying on the mask. There's not a ton of edits. This one is literally just her peeling off. So this is a good indication of the type of hook that works really well, right? I think that's very attention grabbing and scroll stopping. So that's something to keep in the back of our head. This also looks like just a pretty standard like product review, very long drawn out. I think the close-up is a little bit too much for something like Facebook, but a lot of the other content that's gone viral for this product is just people trying it on. Like this is a kind of a viral thing too, of people like trying on the mask in the plane as well with turbulence in the background. That's pretty funny. So as you're looking through the TikToks, we're going to use this information or use these links to be able to extrapolate really important information and basically just gain more insights into our customers, but also start to kind of keep in the back of your head like how or what types of content and the way in which the organic content is working, because that's going to inform the way in which you create your ads. So at this point, you should have now at least 300 or so Amazon reviews, links to 5 YouTube videos, links to 5 Reddit forums, and then links to 5 viral TikToks. So this is basically completing the collate phase of the market research phase. So we've done the research, we've compiled all the information, and now it's time to throw all this stuff into ChatGPT, which is basically going to fast track the entire research process and allow us to extrapolate all of the most important information. So if we go back to our kind of OS system here, we're going to start to filter by frequency of occurrence and then get all of this information that we need to start making some really good ads. Next step is to open up a brand new window of ChatGPT, go back to the sheet, just go to the next step. We're going to copy this prompt here, insert it just like that. We're going to give the product name, the product URL. You can just grab it from Amazon, just like this. Product description, we're going to grab from Amazon as well. Okay. I've already told ChatGPT that I'm going to give it a PDF of the reviews. So let's go ahead and do that. All right. We're also going to give it some comments and Reddit forums. So I'm going to go back to my example research sheets, to my research sheet here. I'm going to go to some of my Reddit forums and I'm going to grab some really good discussions. Basically just grab all this information. You can think of this as we're just, grabbing all of like the raw data, and then we're going to use ChatGPT to process it into things into insights and actionable things that are going to be useful to us as we actually create creative. So let's go right here. Okay. Right. Okay. You can include the YouTube videos and things like that if you want to. I'm just going to stick to the Reddit forums for now because I feel like for this product, the Reddit forums, especially the ones on some of the larger subreddits like Asian Beauty with 3 million users, there's a lot of passionate people in here. And it's these passionate folks that I want to get insights from because they're the ones that know the niche the best. They know the product the best. They know whether or not it's good. They know what the use case is, etc. So once you've copy pasted everything in, as long as you have the reviews and some Reddit forums and potentially YouTube comments if you want to use them as well, then you can go ahead and press submit. Okay. So now ChatGPT confirms that basically it's read the reviews and it knows what you want to do next, which is after it's read everything, we're going to ask it some questions. So we jump back to the review sheet here. We're going to go to prompt number 2, which is grabbing the main categories. And then we're just going to do this. And the only thing we need to do is tell it the product name. Okay. Then we just press enter. Perfect. So here it goes. Now it's going to give us it's going to give us 5 answers to every single category. It's going to tell us how often those answers occur in the reviews. And then it's also going to give us example snippets from reviews so we can understand for every single answer per category, how does our customer describe that in their own language? So as you can see, it's just finished. And in a matter of like 15 minutes, we have answers to all of these categories, 5 answers to each that are all evidence-based, data-driven, pulled directly from the reviews. And all we have to do now is basically put this information into our one sheet so we can pull it out of ChatGPT. So before we do that, let's go ahead and create the personas. So now we're going to generate 4 audience personas based on all of the reviews. And all we do is copy paste that prompt in very simply. And it's going to give us 4 ideal audience personas that are literally based on the reviews. And as we saw earlier, in some of those Amazon reviews, people are telling you like, I'm 54, I'm 35. So they're telling you like who they are demographic wise. But what's really useful with this is we're going to be able to see the psychographic information. Or in other words, what are the psychological needs, wants, and desires that we should have in our mind as to who we're creating the creative for. And it's not enough to know what the main benefits are, but you also need to know what the main benefits are and what kinds of people care about which benefit and so on and so forth. So, okay, cool. So now we have our 4 audience personas. As you can see, one of them is actually male, which is kind of interesting. So, but it's all based on the reviews, right? So it's all evidence-based. And now what we do is we're pretty much done with ChatGPT. So we can close this out and let's go into our audience 1 sheet. And all we're going to do is replace all this information. So the main unique value propositions, we're going to insert ours from ChatGPT and then repeat that process for everything else. All right. So really quickly, as you can see, all I've gone ahead and done is with my ChatGPT window, I've put it side by side next to this sheet. And I basically just copy pasted. Let me show you really quick. So basically just copy pasted the main unique value propositions. I took them and then went like this, Command Shift V if you're on Mac. And basically just went like that and repeated that process for all of the different categories. And now, as you can see, I've brought all that information into ChatGPT, into this sheet. So now I know for every specific category, there are 5 answers per category or 5 reasons or 5 things. And then I also know the order at which they occur. And that tells me which ones are the most commonly occurring, or in other words, which ones are the most important and which ones should I prioritize when I go to make my first batch of creatives. If you scroll down into this sheet, you'll also see a section for the audience personas. And we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to pull up our ChatGPT window with the personas themselves. And this is all made so that way you can just copy that, go here, and just Command Shift V. And now you have the personas there in a second. So let's go ahead and bring the rest of the personas, and then we'll get into analyzing everything. All right. So as you can see, within the span of about 20 minutes here or so, we've been able to do all of our market research. All of these insights that we've gathered are evidence-based, which is the most important thing when it comes to making creative, is using insights and using data-driven. All right, sorry, I thought the audio stopped recording on my thing there, so I was just like, ah. But anyways, what we've basically done is condensed 8 or so hours of market research. We've taken all that information, and we've basically extrapolated all of the most critical insights that we need to know in order to actually make winning ads that are going to sell customers. And we also know for each category of things, what things we need to prioritize. So we know that one of the main, let's say, benefits of the product is the intense hydration of the product. And that shows up 14 times compared to something like reduced appearance of fine lines. So, which only shows up 8 times. So we know if we were to mention any benefits, the main benefit that we want to focus on is something like intense hydration, or that we want to prioritize in these first few batches of creative. Then we also have the reviews on the right, which basically give us insights into, or basically show us, number one, evidence, because sometimes ChatGPT makes shit up. So now we have evidence to substantiate how this answer, or how ChatGPT determined that this was an answer by reviews like this. And then we also have, the reviews also give you basically an insight as to how your customer describes that particular thing in their own language, which is going to be really important. So as we're writing the script, and when we get into writing scripts eventually, this is the type of language that we want to be using, right? We don't want to say reduce appearance of fine lines, or like, we don't want to say it feels soothing and relaxing during use. We want to say, I love how soothing it feels on my skin, like from a UGC creator. So now that we have that information, we also have the personas as well. So we have 4 unique audience personas. And so as you can see, we have their age, gender, location, what awareness level they are currently in the market, what are some characteristics that your prospect wants to achieve, what do they believe about themselves, what are their main desires, how does our product help them achieve that status or characteristic, failed solutions, reason for those failed solutions. So you basically have 4 unique people that you can make the creative in mind to, which is very, very crucial, because unless you understand or identify who the product is for, then how the hell are you going to know what to say to actually create an ad that's going to sell the product? So by this point, you should have all of this information filled out. You should have all of your audience personas, and you are finished with customer and market research. So once you've gotten all of this information here, the next step is to move into so we've done at this point reviews research, social media research. We're now going to move into competitor research and start to look at top performing ad formats and content styles, and basically just see what our competitors are doing currently that's working really well, and how we can take whatever's working well for them and replicate with putting our own spin on it. All right, so the main goal for this phase, or this last and final phase for the product research, is to identify what's working best for our competitors, and then reverse engineering their longest running ads to see what formats and angles they're using so we can replicate them. This is also referred to as fast track ads, and this is the easiest way to launch a product: is find what's working well for your competitor, replicate it using all of the information that you now know about the product and why people are buying it. So really quickly, one of my competitors, or one of the people that sells this product rather, is a company called Youth, and they actually have an ad here that's been on since, looks like November 2nd, and it's a very simple product demonstration creative. There's a little bit of a script / framework to it. Okay. Let's watch this. Okay, so as you can see, they were talking about like reducing wrinkles, and only about like 30 seconds in, they start to get to the glow after effect. And if we're just looking at our research, we know that reducing the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles is definitely a benefit that people want to get out of this product and that they report getting. But if we look, it's smoother, more elastic skin, a brighter glowing complexion, and the intense hydration. Like, those are the things, just based on pure evidence, that people are enjoying much more and that are much more important to this product. So reducing appearance and wrinkles is a benefit for sure that it matters to our audience, but not to the same importance level and to the same extent as something like intense hydration. So when we're looking at our competitors' ads, we're trying to see what kind of content are they doing, what kind of angles are they using, what kind of formats are they using. But this is an example where I'm looking at this creative and I know that I don't want to wait 30 seconds to talk about glowing skin or that after effect of the intense hydration. And I definitely don't want to put reducing wrinkles and fine lines in front of that. So this is a good example where I'm looking at the framework and I know it kind of looks more like a UGC mashup with a lot of different creators talking about the product benefits. And so if I were to do a UGC mashup to the same level, to replicate this creative, I would do a UGC mashup with an attention grabbing hook that goes straight to the main benefit that I want to prioritize, which is intense hydration and also achieving youthful, radiant skin. So you can kind of see the process here. We're not trying to copy and rip our competitors' ads one-to-one. We're really focused more so on the formats, the content styles, what angles they're using, and what script frameworks. So kind of like, what is the skeleton of what they're doing? And then how can we replace the content side with more effective content because we've actually done the research. So based on this, you can tell this person who's ever running this creative, yeah, they're doing well and they've been on for a while, but there's a huge gap in terms of their creative because they're not focusing and prioritizing the most important benefits. So this is an example creative, and I have a Chrome extension here that allows me to just download the ads, and I'll just download that one really quick. And I'm not going to rip it. I'm just going to keep repeating this process of scrolling through, trying to see what content has been on for the longest. So this one's been on since November. Take a look at this one. Or sorry, let's take a look at this one. Okay. Yeah, what do you think of my skin? So this looks like, yeah, she's getting, basically just asking her boyfriend whether or not this mask actually works. Yeah. So this is a product demonstration. Okay. Okay. So that is actually a creative that I think was executed really well. They focused on they prioritized the correct mass desires and the correct value propositions and the correct benefits. She was talking pretty much exclusively about the hydration, how plump her skin looked, the glass skin effect, and she just had an overall brighter complexion. So this is an example of a creative where it's like the content is done well and the format's done well. How can I take this and basically try and replicate it one-to-one with either my own ripped content that I'm going to be looking for on TikTok or even like my own UGC content. So really well done by these guys. And we're basically just going to repeat this process across multiple competitors and get a feel for anywhere from like 5 to 10 concepts of creatives that are working well that we can use to kind of springboard with our first, or springboard into our first initial launch campaign. And we know with our initial launch campaign, we're going to want a minimum of 3 creatives. So look for a minimum of 3 ads that you can replicate that are working quite well. Doesn't have to all be from the same creator or from the same ad account. So feel free to mix it up. And if you only found one competitor, like in doing product research, if you pre-validated correctly, you should have one competitor. If you don't have one competitor, you did not validate your product correctly and need to go back to the product validation phase. So Youth Skin is a competitor that I pre-validated, but if I wanted to pre-validate them or find another proven seller of this product, what I would do is just look up my product title. And I'm going to scroll and make sure my filter is set to active ads and just literally just scroll as far down as I can. And I'm just trying to get a feel for the most active ads possible. Another thing that I can do is I can go into FastMoss or PP ads and start to look for winning ads there. But within ad library, you should be able to do this pretty easily. Jeez. Okay, so this is one of their other winning ads. This looks like a competitor. I mean, they've had it on for quite some time. Let's do a quick. Okay, looks like they're starting to scale up a little bit, which looks pretty good. So let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's just your pretty standard like product demo. After 6 hours, perfect. Emphasizing the hydration. That's the main value proposition benefit. Yeah, real glass skin, perfect. So that's a really well executed creative. And that's one I would probably download and save. Alternatively, we can go to PP ads or FastMoss and start to look at some of the top performing content there. If either you can't find any other winning ads or you just want some more ideas for finding what some winning content looks like. Okay, cool. So I'm inside of PP ads now. And basically all I did was very simple, searched up what my product is called. So collagen face masks, and then or I'm in the ad section here and I'm just in all, and then I did sort by impression. And it's basically just showing me what is the most viral content and what has the most views for my product. So this is the most viral video right now. And so I don't know if you guys can hear the audio. It's probably not coming through, but basically what the intro was, the number one question is, what does the mask actually look like after you wash your face? I'm curious if that's one that we actually have here. Yeah, I guess that kind of falls into like doubts about whether the glass skin effect is real. So again, it's actually really just a product demonstration. So we can basically deduce from this, like some of the best content for this product is really just product demos, because we've seen it work well in the ad library, and then we've seen it work here on organic as well. Let's check out this other example. Stop buying these viral masks and wasting your money if you're not going to open the package and apply the serum to your neck, chest, and hands. It's literally liquid gold. It does all the things. Okay. So again, yeah, focusing really quickly, or focusing, geez, I can't talk. Focusing predominantly on the glass skin effect. You can't really hear her probably. That's a really good hook. Stop wasting your money on these viral collagen masks. Another thing too is like using the word viral or those collagen masks that you've seen on TikTok is another thing that I want to keep in mind, because going back to the research, some of the biggest purchase prompts are just people seeing it on TikTok and social media. We know that's the number one reason why people are buying it, is because they're seeing it all over their social media. So that's another way we could leverage that in the hook. This one's doing okay. I'm surprised to see how little content is actually performing well. Let's see another one here. This one's pretty good. This is probably just another product demo. Yep, very short product demo. Looks like most of these are just product demos. Let's check this one. That's a really funny hook. Okay. Looks like this. Okay, so that's not even the right product. Let's see. You're being lied to. Okay. So notice how the hook here, trying the viral collagen face mask with freckles. So again, virality, it's the number one reason why people are buying this product. So that is definitely a hook that we want to leverage. Trying the viral collagen face masks. Are the viral collagen face masks worth the hype? So let's keep watching this. Yep. Okay, cool. And then she's focusing on the glass skin effect. So basically what we can deduce from all of this research that we've done, and we're going to do this part more so manually, is the top performing ad formats and content styles. It looks like right now, product demonstrations, long format review style pieces of content, using the hook, trying out the viral collagen face masks. When it comes to the angles that our competitors are using or that's working well, we know focusing a lot on the glass skin effect and really showcasing that before and after, because it's so visually appealing to see them peel off the mask. So focusing on, and the kind of angles is really more so like getting that deep hydration, and a little bit less so on reducing fine lines and wrinkles, and more so on the after effect of having that deep hydration. Script frameworks that they're using, we only really found like one major script framework. I mean, outside of that one video, it looks like for the most part, these guys, let's see. If you want your skin to look this much better, okay, cool. Found a nice example. From Amazon, because it's the fake product. The original night collagen is only the used one, which I'm currently using from past 1 month. Let's see this. The result is absolutely amazing. You have to apply this mask after your nighttime skincare routine, and in the next morning after peeling off this mask, you will get the glowing glass like skin. Okay, cool. So this is a good example of a winning framework, and we're going to jump ahead a little bit into the framework that's working well here. But this is like a unique mechanism framework, right? Because they're hooking you in, and you guys probably can't hear it, but they're basically saying like, they're hooking you in, and then they're saying like, basically, do not try other collagen masks on Amazon because they're knockoffs and they don't have this one ingredient. So this is a perfect example of the unique mechanism framework, where it's like you hook, you polarize by calling out your competitors, and then you introduce the product as being one of one unique. Then she gets into the benefits, focusing on the glass skin, which was perfect because we know that's the number one benefit. And then there was some social proof and testimonial on CTA. So looks like for us, we don't really want to focus too much on PS framework or education framework or even the sales framework. We really want to focus on this unique mechanism framework, or at least in terms of the initial testing when we start to write our own scripts, unless we can find other examples of winning ads that are using some of the other frameworks. And let's jump back to our OS here. So what kind of script frameworks are they using? Unique mechanism frameworks, more so longer format, just review organic UGC as well. And then in terms of the messaging, it's all focused on this idea of getting glass skin. Like, it's not so much reducing wrinkles or avoiding pain points. It's really this aspiration to achieve a certain state. So it's a lot more positive messaging than it is sort of like negative messaging and no one's really trying to escape a pain point. They're really just like, let me put this on and get this really nice glowing after effect and just look really, really pretty. So that is going to do it for the research phase. So in a matter of 35 minutes or so, we've been able to gather from the reviews as well as from social media everything that we need to know about the product, and more importantly, what aspects for each of these categories here that we should prioritize when we're making creative. And we've also gone ahead and figured out things that are working well that either our competitors are currently doing or that are working well on organic that we can replicate to be able to launch a product with the highest chance of success possible, because we already know what types of content is working the best, what our competitors are doing that's working well for them, and what we need to replicate in order to get to $1,000 a day as quickly as possible. So when we combine all of this research, we should know exactly who our ideal customer is. Okay, mission accomplished, because we know exactly why they're buying this product, and we have 4 unique customer personas that we can keep in mind as to who we'll be creating the ads for. We also know the reasons why they're buying this product because we just went through that. And then we also know winning ad concepts for us to test. So things that are working well organically, those longer format UGC review videos, and then those unique mechanism frameworks that we just saw in ad library as well. And so we know which angles, benefits, value propositions, pain points to prioritize in our ads because we've ranked them in order of frequency in our research. So earlier, as we saw, they were focusing on reducing wrinkles. And as we just did the research, we know that's not the most important benefit that people are getting out of this product. People really care about getting glass skin, looking glowing, and having that intense plump hydration in the face. So we already know some different ways that we can improve. Now that we've completed the research phase, the next step is to basically start to replicate our any winning concepts, content styles, ads that we just found in this last competitor research phase. So we're going to take everything we've learned and we're going to start to create our first batch of launch ads. And those launch ads are going to be replicating as closely as possible all of the winning elements and frameworks that we just identified in the competitor research phase. So make sure you stick around until the next video when we get started on creating some of our launch ads. And yeah, that's going to do it for our research, and I will catch you in the next lesson.